whenever we talk about this business, the first thing we like to do is kind of give people a perspective as to what they do or don't know, okay? So we came up with these three questions here, and the first one is, what's your personal credit score? Now, that's not a question that I expect anybody to answer out loud, but you pretty much, when someone asks you that question, you've got it down pretty much. You know what your personal credit score is, at least to a pretty certain range. What's on your credit report? Okay, that gets a little bit harder because people are like, well, I know my house, my car, my credit cards, but do you know everything that's on your report at every moment, okay? And then when we ask, how is your personal credit score calculated? How many people in the room know how their personal credit score is calculated? I mean, to a number. You see, it's a big mystery. But in this economy, what is credit? Credit is everything, you see. So we know what our scores are. We kind of know what's on our reports, but we have no clue how that number is achieved. So that's the first thing that this company is about, is helping people understand credit and credit reporting in America. Business credit. Are you a business owner by any chance? Any business owners? Okay, let's just say you decided you wanted to go into business. You just had a great, Julian, you just had an awesome idea and you wanted to go into business. Typically, before you were exposed to this concept, how would you have started financed your business? Go get a loan. What would you do?
Same thing.
Okay, you go to a bank and get the loan, right?
Yes.
Okay.
Maybe if a family member had it.
Okay.
Close family.
Okay, so other people's money. So you want to destroy that relationship real quick and get some money from them, right? Well, the concept is that most people do exactly what Julian said. They go to get a loan, or they use their own personal money, or they get other people's money, okay? But when you really look at what the wealthy do, the successful business people in this country do, they don't believe in the concept of tying their personal life with their professional life. You just don't do that, especially when it comes to money. You always hear the thing is that, well, don't never mix business with personal. Well, that's what we do when it comes to financing. The concept is that, do you know of a company called Dun & Bradstreet? Anybody ever heard of Dun & Bradstreet? Okay. Didn't until you saw this, okay. Dun & Bradstreet is actually a business credit reporting agency, okay? And they hold information on businesses just like TransUnion, Experian, and Equifax would hold information on consumers, all right? If you needed financing for your business, we asked that question. It is possible to get approved for credit without using your Social Security number. Do you think it's possible?
No. Rose
Okay.
kind of told me a little bit, but before she said
Okay. Before you heard about this, did you think it was possible? That's right. Most people think in order to get approved for credit, you have to use your Social Security number. Now, why is that? Anybody got why do you think that when we think of credit, we immediately tie our Social Security number with it? Why is that?
That's what they always say.
Yeah, it's what we've been trained to do, right? We've just been trained to do it, okay? But there's a system out there that will enable you to get approved for credit without ever using your Social Security number, regardless of your personal credit. Now, that is a big secret. And that's what this company is all about, because when we start to expose the secrets, when we start to open people's eyes to different ways to do things, then a lot of what's going on in this economy, you would see that kind of stuff go away, all right? Now, let's talk about personal credit. These are some pretty neat facts here. 35% of your credit score, LaRonda, is based on payment history. Only 35%. How many of you knew that?
I learned that.
Okay. Okay, you learned that when you were looking for a house. Well, see, you're going to make one of my points for me, okay? And that's right. Only 35% of your credit score. The rest is amounts owed, type. You said you thought you had good credit. Okay, great. You made another point for me, all right? So the deal is that you've got 65% of the factors that go into your credit score have nothing to do with how you pay your bills. That just doesn't make sense. I gave an example the other night. If I give you $100, and if you give me $100, and I give you that $100 back in 30 days as agreed, that means I should have perfect credit with you, right? Do you think it makes sense that I shouldn't have perfect credit with you, even though I paid you back on time because I owe her $100 and I know her $100? Does it make sense? Well, that's the way that the personal credit reporting system works. And the big nightmare in this economy is the scoring models do not change based on economic conditions. A lot of people got laid off last year, right? Okay. Half of that number got laid off this year already, and we're not even through the middle of the year yet. But the concept is that, do you think the credit bureau sent out a letter to all of those people that got laid off and said, listen, we understand that Wall Street kind of got greedy and they did some things and you got laid off as a result. So what we're going to do, we're going to change the scoring models. We're not going to rate your credit the same way we would as if you had not. Have you ever heard of anybody doing that? Credit reporting is unfair, people. It's just an unfair system. Now, it is the system. And so you can't do much about that, but you can educate yourself and you can put yourself in a perspective of where you really understand what is going on in America, because that's how so many people are in financial trouble. It's not because of what they did, it's because of what they didn't know. All right? All right. No formal training or course curriculum in American schools about credit and credit reporting. None. Why is that? I mean, you know, I'm not really a conspiracy theorist, but the best way to put people... Well, you do a little, but do you, okay, so you're a teacher. Okay. Do you really get in depth and teach people about how Beacon Score is factored? That's right. There's no curriculum about personal credit. You do have economics that's taught in school, okay, which is basic money management and finance, but really getting people to the point where they understand when you apply for that credit card as an 18-year-old, when you hit that college campus, it is not free money. You have to make wise decisions, you see? And that's exactly what's going on. The average first-time home or car buyer does not know their credit scores prior to applying for a loan. Just like you said, you thought you had good credit. And most people who are suffering from credit problems, they don't know where to go, but the first thing they do, they get on the internet and they type in credit repair, you see? Or they hear it on the radio, or they're driving down the street and they see that sign stuck in the grass that says credit repair, bankruptcy, tax liens, and all that. People are being taken advantage of. But people are taken advantage of because they are uneducated. That's it. They just don't know any better, okay? And if you don't know any better, you just go with what you know, okay? Federal Trade Commission, government agency that regulates commerce in the country, says if you're going to work on improving your credit, do it yourself. And that's the exact philosophy that we walk by, okay? Business credit. Now, this makes more sense to me. 100% of my business credit score is based on, did I give him that $100 back on time? That's it. Period. It doesn't matter who else I owe. It doesn't matter who else has looked at my credit report. That's the thing that really kills me about personal credit reporting is why should my credit go down because other people have looked at it? You see? But when you look at what's going on in this country, it's all about interest rates. The lower your credit scores are, guess what? The higher your interest rates are. Somebody's getting paid off of those low credit scores. You see, my concept is that it's not going to be me. 80% of small businesses fail within 1 year due to lack of financing. 65% of new business owners experience at least a 5-point drop in their personal credit scores when they go into business. Why is that? Because their spending habits change. You see, a 9-to-5er, you have a paycheck, and you typically spend every month within the framework of that paycheck, okay? Business owners, we wake up one morning and then we realize we've got to spend $300 that we didn't go to bed knowing we needed to spend because the business changes, all these demands. LaRonda and some of the other advisors in this company are going to be at an expo coming up in a couple of weeks. Guess what? Last month, they hadn't budgeted to spend that $695, but it just came up. So when you're a business owner, your spending habits change, and when you're using those personal credit cards and those personal credit lines in order to finance your business needs, that's being reported back to the personal credit bureaus, and your scores are dropping. And then it affects you when you want to buy the next house or the next car, you see? Uneducated consumers. The average business owner just doesn't understand the value and benefit of having a business credit profile if they even know that they can have one, okay? And new business owners can get approved for thousands of dollars in credit without the owner's personal credit if it has a business credit profile. You name a place that will approve you credit with your Social Security number, I'll name you the exact same place typically that will approve you without it. Name one. Come on, some of you STAR students. Neiman Marcus. Okay, I knew she was going to say that. Okay. Neiman Marcus has a business credit account. Office Depot, Staples, Sears, Dell, Home Depot, Lowe's, MasterCard, Visa, American Express, Men's Warehouse,